to conduct oversight. Again, I was just in there and was just denied access in violation of federal law to this facility. So
once again, another member of Congress is claiming they were denied access into an ICE facility. His name is U.S. Representative Jason Crow.
They'll now have to give the Department of Homeland Security 72 hours notice ahead of their visit.
Now, Congressman Crow is well aware of the new policy, yet he still showed up to this detention center unannounced and is claiming the federal government is breaking the law. So, once again, we're going to dig into another member of Congress who's claiming they've been denied entry into an ICE facility because they want to conduct oversight. Now, before we start the video, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well, and I think people want to be informed on another member of Congress who was denied entry according to them.
I'm Congressman Jason Crow from Colorado's 6th District, and I'm outside of the Aurora ICE processing facility. This is an ICE detention center that's run by the GEO Corporation, and I just attempted to conduct an oversight visit of the facility pursuant to federal law. So Public Law 118-47, Section 527 says that members of Congress must be provided immediate access to facilities like the one behind me here to conduct oversight. Again, I was just in there and was just denied access in violation of federal law to this facility.
So here's where things get interesting. This member of Congress actually posted the law he's referring to on his X page. This was actually posted in response to another member of Congress who was denied access to a different ICE detention center at a different time earlier in the month. Now, I looked into the law and there happens to be a subsection C that he did not post in his screenshot. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but here's what it says. With respect to individuals described in subsection A2, the Department of Homeland Security may require that a request be made at least 24 hours in advance of intent to enter a facility described in subsection A.
So, listen, one of my biggest obligations as a member of Congress is to conduct oversight, to show up and to make sure the taxpayer dollars are being used in accordance with my constituents' values, but also in accordance with law, and that's certainly not what is happening here today.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and I think you'll agree with me, I'm a little confused as to why this video was made, because earlier in the month, on July 3rd, this member of Congress's staff was allowed access into a detention facility. We actually have a detailed report of what they found. And to make things even more confusing, the member of Congress is aware of what the new protocols are for Homeland Security, because that post I showed you before where he didn't add Section C into this screenshot, he's responding to where Homeland Security was notifying another member of Congress who was denied access into a facility. They did not give the proper notice, which is the new protocol.
There are new rules for members of Congress who want to visit ICE facilities. They'll now have to give the Department of Homeland Security 72 hours notice ahead of their visit. The new guidance from the agency also says ICE can deny a request, cancel, or reschedule a visit. That's prompting outrage from some lawmakers who say they have the legal authority to make unannounced visits at ICE detention centers.
Furthermore, I did some more digging into this member of Congress. I'll give him some credit. He's always done these oversight visits, so he's being consistent all the way back in 2019. However, the point I'm trying to hit home for everyone is that this member of Congress is obviously well aware of what the protocols are, and then to all of a sudden make this video and say, I've been denied entry, I'm just pointing out this seems to be a common pattern between a bunch of members of Congress who just show up to these facilities, even though it's pretty clear. The protocol is you can't just show up anymore. You have to let us know when you're going to show up, and then we will give you the tour.
So Public Law 118-47, Section 527 says that members of Congress must be provided immediate access to facilities like the one behind me here to conduct oversight. Again,
somehow my YouTube channel has become talking about these members of government who show up unannounced to these facilities because it's becoming such a common thing. Homeland Security has actually responded to this member of Congress the way they respond to every member of government who does this. They said, for visits to detention facilities, requests should be made with sufficient time to prevent interference with the president's Article 2 authority to oversee executive department functions. A week is sufficient to ensure no intrusions on the president's constitutional authority. To protect the president's Article 2 authority, any request to shorten that time must be approved by the secretary.
It was just in there, was just denied access in violation of federal law to this facility. So listen, one of my biggest obligations as a member of Congress is to conduct oversight, to show up and to make sure the taxpayer dollars are being used in accordance with my constituents' values, but also in accordance with law. And that's certainly not what is happening here today.
Now, here's the biggest difference between Congressman Crow and the other members of Congress who want to conduct these oversights unannounced. Congressman Crow has actually been doing this for a very long time, specifically at this ICE detention facility. But unfortunately for him, the water has been tainted. You have other members of Congress in which Homeland Security is calling out and saying, these are not even legit oversight visits. You guys are just trying to turn this into a PR campaign. I'm going to show you this clip as a prime example.
No, I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're lobby secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs office.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David work. Right.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
And by the way, two things. Congresswoman Waters is not really that known for conducting these oversight visits into ICE detention facilities. And number two, all of this was done in the middle of the LA protest, and we know how all of that turned out. It got pretty bad in Los Angeles. So you guys can decide how you feel about Congressman Crow and making this video. I was just trying to lay out evidence for you that he's been doing this for a long time. Very recently, his staff at least had or knows about what's going on in this facility according to documents, and now all of a sudden we have this video where he's saying he was denied entry. Okay, so there's no denying that we are seeing so many different videos and clips from members of government who are trying to do these unannounced oversight videos at these detention centers. But I was thinking this was never a thing. We never used to see this almost every single week, or at least a few times a month. Well, I found this clip from Tom Homan that might give us some answers.
And as far as releasing so many people, you know why the Biden administration released millions of people in the United States? No one ever talks about it. I'll talk about it. Why did they release people into the interior of the United States and put them, rather than put them into an ICE bed? Why not put them in an empty ICE bed at $127 a night rather than in a hotel room at $500 a night? They did it on purpose, because when you put them in an ICE detention bed, they get a hearing in 35 days. Court records show 9 out of 10 people claim asylum, get order removal, they're gone. But if you release them and put them in a hotel room at $500 a night, their hearings could be 5, 7, 9 years if you pull out all appeals. And what are they hoping for then? That another Democrat administration is in power. They can award an amnesty to millions.
So, according to Tom Homan, the previous administration, they just never utilized these detention centers. So you can put two and two together. The reason why there's a lot more emphasis on these centers is because now they're actually being utilized.
This is about selling this country out for future political power. That's what it was. The law clearly says if you arrive at our border without proper documentation, you shall be detained. Not maybe, not think about it, shall. And that's what President Trump's doing. Catch and release is over. That's what the law says, and that's what we've done.
Now, sticking with Tom Homan, I think you'll find this interesting. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why I started getting into this topic. At the very beginning of the Trump administration, the way that all of these deportations were going to work is that the Trump administration was going to go into the jail systems, the prison systems, go straight to the criminals. But now, all of a sudden, we're starting to see what's called collateral.
Secretary said it, Rodney said it. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. Hard stop. I've been doing this since 1984. I've never seen a situation where I see it today. New York City, how many times do you want to see NYPD attacked by illegal alien criminals in this city? Now a federal officer. How many citizens of this city have been attacked by illegal aliens in this city? You see the polls. Everybody agrees we should be arresting public safety threat illegal aliens, but you got a city council here that locked us out of Rikers Island.
Basically, what collateral is, let's just say a mother was found who's an illegal immigrant, and everyone in her apartment also happens to be an illegal immigrant. Maybe they're not criminals, it doesn't matter. The collateral policy is everybody gets taken away. But Tom Homan has always said this. Just let us into Rikers Island. Let us into the prison system, and we wouldn't have this issue. Of collateral, the Trump administration wants the criminals, the worst of the worst.
Are you kidding me? So an illegal alien in Rikers Island we can't talk to, we don't have access to. That makes the city unsafe. Every sanctuary city is unsafe. I'll say it again, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. And I'm going to work very hard with Secretary Noem to keep President Trump's promise and his commitment several weeks ago that sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. You don't want to let us into jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. You want to release him into the street, which makes it unsafe for the community, makes it unsafe for the officer, makes it unsafe for the alien. Anything can happen on a street arrest. So what we're going to do, we'll have more agents in New York City to look for that bad guy.
And of course, if the Trump administration is not able to go directly to the criminals, they have no choice but to find everyone they can who's not supposed to be in the country, whether criminal or not, to try and find the one bad person, which means we're going to have more detention centers that are filled with illegal immigrants, and obviously we're going to have more of these oversight videos.
So sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want, more agents in the community and more agents in the work site. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of the county jail, then we'll arrest him in the community, and we'll arrest him in the jail. And when we arrest him in the community, if he's with others that are in the country illegally, they're coming too. Sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals. President Trump is not going to tolerate it, and I'll work every day with Secretary Noem to make sure we get as many bad guys, illegal aliens out of this country that we can.
Now, sticking with Tom Homan and the topic, I also found this video where Tom Homan has made it clear we need more beds, which means we're going to have more detention centers filled with more of these either criminals or illegal immigrants who are part of this collateral. It looks like Tom Homan is not messing around when it comes to these detention centers.
Well, first of all, let me give credit to the most secure border in the history of this nation, to President Trump, his leadership, his executive orders, and the men and women of the Border Patrol, the 20,000 men and women standing on that front line every day, 24/7. So God bless them. They're out there doing America's work. Look, I'm with the president. I mean, we need detention beds. Thank goodness we got the big, beautiful bill passed, because right now we got about 59,000 in custody. But this morning I woke up, we got less than 400 beds available, 400 empty beds right now. We'll fill them, by noon. So we're constantly chasing our tail, trying to get as many removal flights as possible to clear up some more beds, so we can continue arresting the worst of the worst. So I'm with the president. We need the beds. We got to get the 100,000 beds, maybe even more. We have the money to do it. So we can't rest. We got to get out there right now and get as many beds as we can, as many transportation contracts as we can, both over the ground and in the air, and as many contractors as we can, and boots on the ground. Yeah. So we're not waiting. We're moving quickly.
So Tom Homan really verifying that, look, we want more beds, we need more beds, it's going to happen. And in today's political climate, we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 deportations a day. At the very beginning, again, of all of this, the number was supposed to be 1,000 deportations a day, with the expectancy of about 1 to 2 million illegal immigrants are supposed to self-deport due to being on a temporary status. So now we find ourselves in a position where these ICE facilities are pretty much just filled up, and there's a rapid turnout of new illegal immigrants and ones who are leaving within 30 days. There are even some times where in 24 hours, an illegal immigrant is processed immediately and is deported to their home country. So this is why, again, I think we're starting to see more and more of this, what members of Congress are calling oversight, and they want to do it immediately, even though Homeland Security is saying no. All of a sudden, for you guys to want to do this immediately, it's becoming a political stunt. It's becoming becoming obstruction, and things have gone way too far with how members of Congress have been conducting themselves at these facilities. Now, when it comes to Representative Jason Crow, I don't agree with his politics, but I do like that members of Congress want to conduct oversight. Consistent oversight, not just showing up out of nowhere, and now all of a sudden they made it a priority in their life when we've never even seen them do any oversight ever. I think it's a good thing. That's literally the job of the U.S. representatives in our country, to conduct oversight and make sure federal buildings or federal entities are doing their job. However, it is becoming an oddity that all of a sudden it's becoming the norm, where a member of government shows up and says, I was denied access, I demand to be allowed to do oversight, and I think the majority of Americans are simply not buying it because we're just seeing it become a normal thing when we've never seen it before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I was able to lay out enough evidence for you as to why we're starting to see all of these videos. Again, this is a very special case because Congressman Crow has been doing oversight for a very long time. He just seems to be very upset with the fact that he can't do it as fast as he wants anymore. However, we gotta also look at everything in context. Now that we have these other members of Congress, like Maxine Waters, who just shows up in the middle of a protest and demands oversight, I think we have a little more finger pointing to do in the opposite direction of the Trump administration and these other members of Congress who all of a sudden made it their top priority when they've never done this before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. God bless, and we'll see you all later.